Ismail Collier is your realtor, associate broker, and team leader here at eXp Realty. I'd like to talk to you all today about ego, as it is quite relevant to what we do here in our everyday lives as realtors, as well as family members and citizens in our communities. Whether it's because I sell this many houses, or I own these many properties, or I've done this, that, or the other, or I carry this fancy title, it is easy for our heads to get filled with ego. My faith teaches me that the very first sin, the very first act of disobedience in the universe was due to ego. The Muslim holy book, the Quran, chapter 7, titled The Heights, verses 12 and 13 state that when God first created man, he instructed the angels and the jinns to bow down to Adam. They all did, except for Satan, who we call Iblis. The book narrates, God said, "What hindered you that you did not fall prostrate when I commanded you?" Iblis said, "I'm better than him. You created me of fire, while him you created of mud," meaning fire rises while mud stays low to the ground. God said, "Then go down from here. It is not for you to show pride here, so go forth. And lo, you are of those degraded." When one thinks of themselves as too high and mighty, it actually has quite the opposite effect and leads to humiliation and to being degraded. On the other hand, when we humble ourselves, when we assign less importance to ourselves and give more value and importance and respect to others around us, is when we earn true respect for ourselves. Even in nature, we see signs of this. You will notice that trees that are high and mighty often produce no fruits and give little shade, whereas the trees that provide fruits and shade and comfort are often lower to the ground. And of course, those are the ones that get protected and cared for by the people around them. And of course, intention matters. We shouldn't show respect or humble ourselves for the sake of appearing humble, but truly from a place of wanting to help, providing value, and serving the many creatures around us. This is so relevant to what we do in our everyday lives. Many real estate agents aren't best known for their down-to-earth, non-egotistical, and easy-to-approach demeanor. Rather, it is the high and mighty attitude, too busy for anyone's calls or texts or emails. And if someone tries to give a helpful hint about the voicemail being full, they're greeted with a healthy dose of attitude. We need to remind ourselves that we are not doing anyone else a favor, not the other agent, and not our buyer or seller, by doing the most basic part of our job. And for realtors, that is answering our phone calls and emails. We need to keep in mind that our client has chosen to work with us out of thousands of realtors, chosen us to help them with the biggest transaction of their lives, and we stand to make thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars at the end of the transaction. The least we can do is check our ego and work with the various partners in the transaction to do the job our client hired us to do and help them get them to their goal. Not many will remember us for how many houses we sold or what cars we drove or the titles we held, but rather will be remembered for how we treated each other, how we made each other feel, and how we served humanity. History is our witness that the figures the world remembers and adores the most, from Gandhi to Mandela, from Rosa Parks to Reverend King, are ones that served humanity unconditionally and without ego and arrogance. And gone and forgotten are the ones who thought too highly of themselves. Listen, when all is said and done, once the dust has settled, all we will be left with is 6 feet of earth and the legacy we leave behind. Thank you for listening.